Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world's most famous podcast. I am Jacqueline Maddison, your hostess. Today, we have a very exciting guest. In the ever-evolving world of digital marketing, one name stands out as a true innovator, Darrell Stern. Known as the digital marketing Jedi, Stern has built a reputation for transforming brands through the power of storytelling, strategic engagement, and cutting-edge marketing techniques. As the founder and CEO of Stern Marketing, he has helped businesses amplify their voices, generate leads, and create emotional connections with their audiences. Let's welcome this phenomenal guest to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so
Good.
excited to kind of glean your marketing wisdom because we all want to know marketing secrets, you know?
Exactly.
And forgive me, I don't know why I look like Casper on screen. I am Irish, so I do have very fair skin, but hey, it is what it is.
Listen, come to Scottsdale. They have tanning salons.
Okay, so let's dive right in, Darrell. Can you share a little bit about your journey into the world of digital marketing and how you became the digital marketing Jedi?
Sure. So I was the voice of Scooter Computer on Schoolhouse Rock in 1983. So my
Oh,
voice is on Disney Plus right now, singing when I was 11 years old. I was a Broadway singer, before that. I was almost on Broadway twice when I was a kid. I lived in New Jersey, so we just go to New York City and audition for stuff. So Scooter Computer was the first cartoon series where a little boy comes home and he has a friend who is a computer. And the series explained that like a computer can't think, it can only run a program, it can only give you the output. It's really good with numbers, it's really good with these other things. It's great at playing games and stuff, but it's not intelligent. So we'll get into that later. Aha, hint, hint, wink, wink.
aha.
So I had a little Atari 400. I've been playing with computers since 1983, but I kept doing show business. And then in the 90s, I even did stand-up comedy 5 nights a week. And then tragically, in case you can't tell, I missed that Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio look. Now, if you look closely, it's like 0.02% resemblance. You can barely see it.
Yeah, I
It's
see what you
there
mean.
though, but you can barely see it, the resemblance. So,
Actually, more
uh,
Matt Damon now that you say that.
Matt, I've been called Jay Leno with the chin, all kinds of different people. When
Really?
I was a kid, I was Benny Hill. Now that's a British comedian that used to run a little kind of naughty TV show and all that kind of stuff. But regardless, so then in 1997, I got a master's in communications, and this floppy disk comes out, says HTML. I decide, okay, I'm going to quit this show business and be an adult, right? And and
Hmm.
and get a job. So then I got the corporate job and I was doing the website design and all this stuff for a big giant software company. At the same time, my mom had cancer and she passed away in 2002. She had a very bad test of ovarian cancer and they
Hear that.
they killed her, basically, the doctors, with what they did. So
Right.
I had a fiance and I said, well, let's get married in Vegas. Yeah, and I grew up in New Jersey, Florida. That's all I did. So I just took off and went out to Vegas, and then I decided to move to Vegas. And I said, I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah.
So fast forward, we're just making websites. We were hand coding e-commerce from scratch. There was no Shopify. There was none of it. There was none of it. We
Wow.
had
Wow.
to build it from scratch. So then fast forward, people start making video. And the people making videos are not actors. Remember when Facebook Live started? It's like, did anyone bother to go to a live broadcasting studio and see how they do it? No. Everybody just picked up their phone and went, is it on? Like, sorry, can you hear me out there? Hello? Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, these videos are bad. The other part of it is that
Right.
people in my generation, I'm 53, when video came out, they started to do TV commercials, as their social media, not understanding that it's a totally different genre. It's totally different. So I met an auto mechanic in 2016. He said, I want to be the number one auto mechanic in the whole world. And I had a theory that I could create him infinite leads forever if we did this correctly, what I thought was true. So I created him a huge website with 60 different landing pages, one for each and every type of car that there is. Now I call that a situational avatar. People talk about find your purpose. I found mine. It's some here in my stock drawer. Oh yeah. It's down here. I found it last week in my underneath my socks,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
right?
That's normally
And
one of the questions I ask.
I say that's bullshit. Like you want your business is getting someone out of a specific situation they are in, right? Be it they need of their car fixed, or they need open heart surgery, or they need to heal from inner trauma, or they need to develop a new building complex for a hotel. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. The company proves it. So marketing is giving people hope. The landing pages give you hope. He makes you a promise. The second part is you got to prove it. Now, in the old-fashioned days, we had a resume, and at the end of the interview, the person would say, "Well, where are your references?" Right? So they would call the other people and say, "Can you do this?" Well, now everybody can go out there and prove it. And to me, an influencer, is someone who simply demonstrates their expertise, not by telling you that they're an expert, like a lot of these business coaches, like these 27-year-old life coaches. Please, please. Okay. And they they prove they can do it. So I had this thing. So Google owns YouTube, and I had seen all the bloggers like Jeff Bullis in Australia. He's still around. Heidi Cohen, the Content Marketing Institute, and blogging was the thing to get SEO. They're only until all the social media came out. But then Google was smart and bought YouTube, and they make billions of dollars off of YouTube with the videos. So here's what happens. So I want you to Google, everybody in the audience, something that you can fix for someone, and it needs to be specific. It's not just dog food. Like it's organic dog food from Wisconsin that's not made with corn, like something really specific. And
Okay.
see if there's no videos that come up in that Google search. Because if there's no video with exactly that title, that's a hole in the market. Now,
Mm.
so I went down to his shop. I started filming him fixing the cars. So he's not telling you he's a mechanic. He's saying, today I'm fixing this. This is what I'm doing. I'm taking this out. We're doing this and this, and look over here. And this. I mean, I'm
Oh.
up under these cars and examining it. So there's an old-fashioned thing called, where do I have one? I have one somewhere here, called books. I don't know. This is very old-fashioned thing. They're made out of squashed thin sheets of wood. They put them through a, you might have heard of papyrus. The ancient Greeks and stuff is very
Yes.
ancient. So in
Yes.
this there used to be an expression back when we read books that you wrote the book on what you do, right? Like you wrote the
Uh-huh.
book, right?
Right.
Jacqueline wrote the book on whatever.
Mm.
So I take the videos and I put them on the blog at the top of the blog, and then I transcribe the videos and I make them into articles. And then so on this one, he talks about carburetors. So when he talks about that, I find the word carburetor and I link it to another one where he says carburetor. By the way, WordPress is the only software that actually has this tool where you can highlight a word, put it in the search for what the link should be, and it'll show you all the pages that have that. Okay.
Oh.
And then I come over here and he talks about single plane brakes. And then finally on that one, he says Mercedes-Benz. So here's this page on the interwebs that says I can fix a Mercedes-Benz. And it's down like page 10. It's like so far down, I can't reach that farther down, right? How far in the back of it. So then here's all these videos and articles and blogs and him demonstrating and more articles and more videos. And it's all linked together
Yeah.
to prove it. So not only did he start coming up number one for these different types of specific cars, and we started with luxury cars first.
Hmm.
Here's another lesson: go for the highest ticket offer. That's the lowest hanging fruit. People that own a
Right.
$350,000 Bentley, they treat this like another child. They're polishing it
Right.
every day, right? And
Mm-mm.
fixing it. So they'll easily spend 15 grand a month just maintaining the car. It's the
Mm.
child. So we started with that. We started getting all kinds of rare Alfa Romeos in, all these kind of crazy cars. That's the first chapter. The second chapter is he went from $50,000 a month to 80,000, 120,000. Great. So my theory, this is working, right?
Yeah.
Give people hope, have the landing pages, prove that you can do it, make all these articles with the videos at the same time. Then, and by the way, this works for anything because people say, well, I heal people from their wounds, from their trips to Mars. And I say, well, no one's going to write you a check for that. We got to come to something concrete.
Uh-huh. Right. That's kind of the
Down to
word of the
earth.
day, monetize. How are we going to monetize it?
Well, the monetization is you're in this situation. You see me showing that I can get you out of that situation, so I buy it. If I want a cup from Epcot Center, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you always wanted that, and I have one, you're going to offer me money to get that cup out of my hands and into your hands.
Uh-huh.
Duh, that's how business works. That's how commerce works. Okay, so I did something that we used to do in high school and college called research. I don't know if you remember this. We used to write research papers, which actually use these things called books and go read them and figure out. Now you can Google stuff, of course. So I went and researched and I talked to a lot of people in Colorado and I said, what kind of cars and trucks do you guys drive that's really popular? And Subaru was the first thing, but Subaru, they're safe cars. They don't need a lot of fixing and stuff. But the next one they talked about is Jeep. So Jeep has an engineering flaw called the death wobble. I mean, the way they do the suspension where they're up high to go on the mountain driving, like it'll start wobbling and you can
Uh-huh.
go off the road and die. And they don't build it right. And Chrysler Fiat has done nothing to acknowledge this. So you go search for that on YouTube. The first video has 2.7 million views. The next mechanic has 580,000. The next has 600,000. The next has 30,000. This is the topic is already viral. I'm going to say it again. Instead of you trying to just go viral, here's the problem with the media, right, Jacqueline? Like you make this video and you show it to your assistant, you're paying her to post it. She's just going to post it anyway, right? So she posts it, or like your sister, and your sister says, yeah, I guess, right? Or whatever. And he just puts stuff out, but you're not looking to see what that is already viral. So we put that video out
Hmm.
July of 2016. It now has 200,000 views, 1,500 likes. Now he's on a dirt road in the middle of Englewood, Colorado, a place where you wouldn't go at night, like that part of town. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, he's got 212 comments on this video, not just from all of Colorado, but all over the whole country. He
Right.
got a call from Hawaii and France with people asking him questions about what he did and how he fixed that issue in the video. But he also made $7.9 million.
Wow. Off one video?
Mhm.
Amazing.
Completely organic, no ads, no Google ads, no Facebook ads, none of this crap, right? Why? Because what are you trying to sell the most? The thing that the people want the most. Duh. So
Yeah.
go find what the people want most out of you. Now that may mean you're calling it healing your soul,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you go
Mm-hmm.
look, and they call it soulful healing. Let's just say, like, whatever reason, right? That's
Right.
what people call it. So if you don't flip those words over and change it to soulful healing, you're missing all the traffic. You're missing the whole world. They're not finding you.
Uh-huh.
So a funny joke about that is I worked on my ex-brother-in-law's website in 2003. It's an e-commerce website for poultry confinement. So he
Mm.
sells, it's Nebraska. They sell the fencing to hold your hogs in place or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So he calls me up one day. He goes, well, I wanted to come up for hog confinement. I said, okay, why is that? Well, that's what we want to sell. And I looked at the whole entire website through all the stuff, and there was not a single sentence or word saying that.
Huh.
So it's not going to come up.
Uh-huh.
So we had to redo the whole thing and reorganize it all and all that kind of stuff. So that would come up. It's pretty logical and pretty simple. Um, the kid with the $7.9 million video, over 4 years, he got up to $600,000 a month. He went from 5 mechanics to 25 mechanics. They let him take over an auto mechanic shop that someone wasn't running right, that was built the year he was
Wow.
born. So he went from a garage in the shitty part of area to Main Street right off the 25 in Arapahoe, if you know Colorado listeners out there. And so in conclusion, my marketing makes buildings bigger.
Wow. That's
Right?
fantastic.
So
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, how many Facebook likes should I have? Do I need more followers?" I said, "You need clients, and the clients need to know that you can solve a problem that they have. And the more they think the problem and solving it is worth, the more you get paid. The only
Yeah.
difference between the people not making a lot of money and the people making a lot of money is the people making a lot of money are strategic as to what they're going after and how they're going after it, and they're adding a zero when somebody asks the price. And that's it.
So is this a strategy only on YouTube, or is this just WordPress blog websites and with Google SEO marketing, or what platforms does your philosophy work on?
Oh, but that's
All
just the
of
first part.
them.
So
Uh-huh.
there's several gateways to meet someone. So that was obviously car mechanic. He's fixing cars. You fix the car. Pretty linear example, but it works on everything else. So then well, I'll tell you a little story. So in 2016, Snapchat was all the rage.
Hmm.
And I'm in my mid 40s. I get on Snapchat and this kid tells me, he says, I was like, what are you doing? And he says, oh, I'm a Snapchat content creator.
Mm.
And I said, I think I need to retire. Like, what's going on with these kids? So
Right.
instead, I met them and they were having a big party, a big award ceremony. It wasn't Snapchat, it was their own thing. They wanted to make this award ceremony called the Ghosties and give themselves awards for the best at this and the best at that of Snapchat. So I got involved with them, sent them $3,000, said, I'll sponsor it. And I flew to London
Mm.
and I met these kids. And here's what I noticed. And this is where I get my whole motto behind my marketing. What I noticed is their dad wasn't dead. Their mother didn't get cancer and die in front of them. They didn't marry the wrong girl,
Mm.
go to Kansas, then get divorced, live in Denver by themselves, and blah, 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 blah. Hopefully, those things don't happen to them ever, but they're in the joy of just creating and doing their art and doing what they slay at and doing what turns their soul on and doing what they're gifted at. So that's
Right.
where I get my motto. You are a gift to the world, and the
Oh,
world
yeah.
needs your gifts.
I
What
love
you can
that.
teach, what you know, and what you can demonstrate. I love you too. Um, what you can demonstrate that you might take for granted, other people are amazed by. So you ever talk to someone, the more adult we become, the more limited we are, right? And this
Or
is
so
actually a
we
scientific,
think. But really,
well,
it's scientifically proven?
yeah, when you're first born, you have trillions and trillions of brain cells. And as you form habits and the whole brain isn't needed anymore, because we only use like 2% of our brain or something like that. The rest of it dies off. So the older we get, the dumber we become. But if we can release that and get back into the fun and the joy of it, your performance in the media you're creating does more to sell it than anything else, right? So if I come
Yeah.
on here and I go, yeah, I'm Darrell. Um, I was on TV once. I make websites. Hi. Right? If that was my podcast interview, you'd be like, oh boy, oh boy, we're gonna have to handle this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So energy variance. Okay, so let me go on. So the Stanislavski version of acting came out of Russia. Before that, theater and acting and melodrama and all this stuff was all overdone. Why? Because there was no amplification. So everything has a
Mm.
reason for it based on the current technology and the current situation. So opera, oh my God, this is all, yeah, this loud projected sound, because there's no amplification. You got to do it bigger and bolder and louder, right? So
Right.
these operas, they're soap operas, really, literally, like they act like the soap operas and da da da. So they're loud and big. And then came, vaudeville and silent films, da 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 da, and
Yeah.
da da da,
Right.
and all this over exaggerated stuff. In the meanwhile, though, behind the scenes, the Russians were being invaded, they were being slaughtered, they had famine, they had all this stuff. And this person, this Russian by the name of Stanislavski, came along and said, we're going to make theater where if you're sad, the character you're playing is sad, you're going to pull on an incident in your own life where you were really sad and you're going to actually be sad.
Right.
Here's the key in the marketing. You're talking about your life now, or a story. People say it's storytelling. That's 2% of what this really is. So it's
Uh-huh.
not you tell a story, you have to relive the story, right?
Mm.
You have to go back to when it happened and have the feelings that you had when it happened, and maybe even add a little more to that, right?
Hmm.
Because we're in a little bitty box. Right now, you're big on the Zoom, and I'm this itty bitty box up top, right? So I'm like, I better be big. If
Right.
this goes on the internet like this, I better zoom in. Okay. So that's the next part. So when we move into the other platforms, okay, so back to Snapchat. So Snapchat, they go public. Some of these kids are getting 27 million people watching their Snapchats a day, and they start
Wow.
selling ads. And the Snapchat Incorporated doesn't give the creators, the content creators, any of the money. So they leave.
Yeah.
So that's when Meta, Facebook, tried to imitate Snapchat. Now we have story reels, the little stories on Facebook and little stories on
Hmm.
Instagram and da da da. And then we have the little vertical videos and all that kind of stuff. Well, even though they did an okay job, a lot of kids went to that because they would actually, you could make some money there. But the other place that they went to in 2018 is called LinkedIn. So
Right.
LinkedIn was a boring resume database advertised to get a job. You put the thing in there, employers are looking for it, da, da, da.
Yeah.
But they were smart and they added the wall like Facebook so you could add updates. So when these kids came over, they're telling business stories, but they're also telling these vulnerable business stories. Like, this was the day that I lost everything. My first 5 years in entrepreneurship. If I
Mm.
had only known this one thing, or whatever.
So dramatic.
And they turn it around and make it into this drama show. And what happens? The
Yeah.
engagement goes up and they start getting followers. They flip LinkedIn
Mm.
around. Now you see followers. So there's a lady by the name of Maria Malik. She's a Pakistani American. She has 280,000 followers
Wow. Wow.
on LinkedIn. So what's her story? So I was at a class that I took with her and Shanae Murray. Shanae Murray was a single mom. Her kid was starving. She saw this LinkedIn thing. She started doing a video every day, every single day. 163 days in, this is what it takes to do this. You got to just keep
Mm-hmm.
going.
That's
One of the
right.
videos goes viral, and then all of a sudden she goes blah, 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 and now she's got 1 million, followers. So it's her class, but I'm in the class, so I helped them do this. So Maria Malik is an introvert, and today she wants to teach introverts public speaking. Okay, great, but we were playing around with that, but we really didn't get to the heart of why. So then finally she opens up, and this is what Stern storming is all about.
Okay.
I keep going and I ask you going, and you get deeper and deeper and more transparent until finally I get to the truth
I
of it. Like
love that. Yeah,
my
right?
my father was the one telling me this. Oh, well, how many times the whole childhood? And usually the person literally breaks down and I go, that's the viral video. So
Mm.
her post starts off with, I was 17 years old and I was forced into an arranged marriage.
No.
Shocking, right?
That
Doesn't
is,
happen
that
in
is.
America. Dun, 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 right? Dun,
Right.
dun, dun. And then she says she was shipped off to Pakistan. She doesn't even know this guy. She's forced to get married to him. Year and a half later, she comes back to America and she finally decides to speak up. And she said, Mom, Dad, I'm gonna like jump off a bridge if you don't get me out of this marriage.
Yeah.
They let her get out of the marriage. Then she finishes high school. Then she gets a master's degree. Then she's the first woman in her family to get a job. This is this culture. Then she travels the world, meets the man of her dreams, blah, 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 blah. At the end of it, she says, um, hold on. So that is why today I teach introverts how to speak on stages and stuff, because the only way to get what you really want is to use your voice.
Yes.
Knockout. It
Boom.
shakes. So
Boom.
here's a joke.
Yeah.
I was a theater major, right?
Ah,
Other
uh-huh.
people were English majors and history majors. What do we say in the 80s, right? We said, oh, you're going to be a college professor. You're not going to make more than $32,000 a year ever. Well, guess what, kids?
Ah,
Now everything, the more dramatic written everything is, the more it does well on this new social media. So we're winning,
right. Yeah,
right?
I see that. You have the advantage because I know your philosophy is that marketing is entertainment. It's, so to have that show
Well,
business mentality or
I
background.
don't want to get confused because there's kids now that do YouTube channels and they are purely entertainment. They're showing
Mm,
cars, they're flipping whatever, they're flipping boats over, they're doing stunts. There's makeup artists, there's fashion girls, there's all that kind of stuff. They're dancing and all this kind of stuff. That
mhm.
is purely entertainment. What they're doing is they want to build up a viral following just to make the money off of YouTube.
Right.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Because it's just entertainment. Then what we're doing is, though, we're telling the stories in a dramatic way to get this people to emotionally respond. So then we can hit them with the, hey, come to my webinar.
I see.
Or,
So it's got to be compelling enough to draw them in. And that's what the element of kind of the drama or the entertainment aspect of it is. Because, you watch a movie and it makes you cry and it just pulls on your heartstrings, right? So
yeah,
in a way, the marketing campaign has to pull on the audience to draw them in.
yeah. So all of this is where Stern storming started, which is about around 2015, 2016, because I started to do the marketing like I would write a play. So when you
Mm.
write a play or a screenplay, you get out a sheet and it says your name, how tall are you, what religion are you, what color is your hair, and then do you like broccoli or not? Are
Mm-hmm.
you scared of this? You say that with this and that, and all this stuff. And I'm writing out all the notes on you, right? So then
Yeah.
you can start talking to me in my head and I can write the movies with your character in it,
Right.
right? So I started doing this in marketing where we go backwards to the beginning of your life. You tell me your whole life story. I write down 385 things in 90 minutes. And then I go, well, there's all the stories. But I'm also looking for those moments as to A, is what you're doing now true to you? Because a lot of people not. They pick it because their dad did it, or they saw it on
Right.
TV, or they bought some kit in the mail and they think they're going to be, sell I don't know, medical shoes or something weird or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then from that, it's then practicing telling a story, which is probably another podcast, but I teach them how to do that. And then in the Stern story, we then write their platform. So everyone needs a platform. That's like a shopping cart for the
Right.
stuff that you sell. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the website is not about you. I'm so great. I've been in business so many years and I have all these degrees and look at me. Um, am I supposed to do something or what? What
Yeah.
it is about their problem. So then I write these amazing emotional
Oh.
landing pages that
Mm-hmm.
say, based on a situational avatar. And the situation, I made up that word. I don't know if anybody else does it, but I call it a situational avatar. They talk about avatars. Like my
Right.
avatar has red hair and she always ate peaches. What does that have to do with the market? Well, how are you going to market that? What does that mean? Why are you going to market that? But if I
Yeah.
say my avatar is women that always wanted to live in a castle with a marble staircase, and velvet curtains because they always loved ancient Greeks architecture because their Greek professor and a professor in college was the only one that showed them that there was more to the world than the shitty little town that they grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then I can reverse engineer that and say, are you frustrated because although when you were a child you saw the world in history class and flipping through books and your parents even read you storybooks, but no matter how hard you try, you haven't been able to break free from that? Do you hope and wish that you could earn a better income or start some kind of business or do something that would allow you at least once for 3 days to go to ancient Greece and see the Parthenon for yourself?
Yep.
You know that other people get to do this. Even some of your neighbors down the street say that they did it, but you find it impossible. What if I, Jacqueline, can teach you in 3 simple steps how to change just a little bit of the way you're behaving and the things that you're thinking that is going to unlock opportunities for you to start saving the money towards that trip? And what if between now and 365 days from now, you were telling all about your friends about having that trip? And that's a format of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's energy variance in it. So the beginning of it is, so lawyers do this when they cross-examine, right? If the witness is like, "Urgh," then they'll say, "Urgh, aren't you frustrated by all this and these people questioning you?" Yes. And then you say, do you hope and wish they would just allow you to da 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 da? Yes.
Mm.
You know that, I mean, Charlie did take the money, and you were there. I mean, you know that. But again, it wasn't totally your responsibility. So isn't that correct?
Mm.
Yes. Right. I just convicted the guy in 3 lines.
Mm-hmm.
What if I could da 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 da? Charlie's robbing a bank. Got it. So it's all then timing and shuffling up these different things. Because going back to the other topic, it's like playing the algorithm game. I want to get
Mm.
the people loving you and liking you and loving the stories and da da da. And then in the middle of that, I'm going to punch them in the gut, right, with one of these ones that goes on. The other part that people don't understand, a lot of them too, is you've got to participate in these platforms and get out there and comment on other people's stuff,
Ah,
you
uh-huh.
know, which we could do now with AI. There's very sophisticated programs. You just got to be careful with it that it's not so repetitive, if you will. But I now have a VA in the Philippines who is commenting on on everybody else's LinkedIn on mine.
Right.
So I'll give you an example of that. So it's kind of like this. Like if I came to your networking meeting, Jacqueline, right, with a pile of business cards, and I said, "Oh, Jacqueline, I got to eat a ham sandwich now. I mean, I'm hungry, and thanks for inviting me, but would you hand out all my cards, to everybody? Bye.
Oh,
I'm the
right.
asshole of this of the networking meeting. So if all you do is post on social media and go, I don't understand. I'm so brilliant. Why isn't everyone responding? It's because you're not
Right.
talking, because you're not giving any of your time to respond to them. They're working just as hard at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You've got to engage with the community and
Mhm.
people you want to connect with. Absolutely. So you mentioned something about a video that went viral after 163 days. Is there like a formula in terms of time frame that someone can expect to see results from a marketing campaign
Uh,
with you?
so I don't use the word campaign. We're
Okay.
not at war. We're
What
not
do you
going to
call it?
storm Normandy. Well, the word campaign comes from
Strategy?
warfare. No,
Strategy?
no, not at all.
Huh, okay.
Digital marketing is a lifestyle choice. If you're going to
Mm,
put your life online, you're going to do it consistently and persistently forever with no judgment whatsoever. Because the kids that first started YouTube channels before there were viral videos, they just did it for the fun and the joy of doing it. Right? The
right.
first kids that started posting videos on LinkedIn after they came over there and just bearing their souls and telling them, nobody knew that that was going to go viral. They're going to list things. They just did it for the joy of what they were doing or what they felt in the moment they wanted to communicate. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's funny when they talk about authenticity. Well, I'm always authentically here. I'm really here in this chair. I'm really in. I mean, how could I not be authentic? This is me,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
But what they really mean is going a little deeper into letting parts of your life talking about the things that you wouldn't normally talk about.
Uh-huh.
The other part is, why do we tell so many stories? Why is it endless? Well, you go to the social club of ladies, right, every week across the street. My grandmother loved to play bridge, the card games. So, like, okay,
Yeah.
let's say you go every. So every week, are you going to tell them the same story? Are going to be the lady when they go, yeah, here comes Jacqueline. She's going to tell the one about her grandson stuck in a tree again, Marjorie. Just smile and wave at her like you never heard it before. It's, oh, by the way, the kid ended up breaking his leg in two places.
I see
Oh,
what
Jacqueline, how are you? Right? And
I
then you tell
see
the
what
same
you're
goddamn
saying.
story. You understand?
So that's why
Got
you
it?
delve into your client's backstory so that you can
That,
create
yeah.
their
So,
videos that tell their story in 200 different ways, or maybe 200 different stories, but that tell their
well,
story.
not maybe. I just did it. I just got off the plane from Orlando. I shot 200 videos of a gentleman named Tim who got his insurance agency in Nebraska in a small town up to $10 million.
Wow.
Um, and he talks about that. He talks about business, and then his coaching is amazing. He's going to have a $25,000, a seat
That's
live
fantastic. So
event
how can
once in a
people
month.
get in touch with you? How can people reach you and work with you and yeah,
So
how
if you
can
go
they
to,
find you?
well, they can find me everywhere. If they type in Darrell, that's the French way of spelling it. I'm not French. Stern is German. I'm half Jewish and half Protestant, so I try to buy wholesale. I really do, but then I charge it.
That's
Kind
funny.
of a mutt. So
Hmm.
you can go, let's see, you go to sternmarketing.agency. That's where my funnel is. Or you can go to stern.marketing. That's where all the stuff is about the mechanic and all that kind of stuff. You can go on LinkedIn and find the profile that has 16,000 followers. That's me, not
Great.
my cousin who's pretending to be me. I'm just kidding, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much everywhere. You can also text SEO to 321-421-5213, and then you'll get a bunch of helpful videos from me and also an invite to audition to go Sternstorming and work with me.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. So, what is your sort of most important piece of advice for people who are wanting to grow their business and go viral?
So an influencer is someone demonstrating their expertise. Be an actual expert at what you do.
Hmm.
There's no way of faking it. Your reputation is going to, in the end, be driven by what you deliver.
Right.
Right? So people are so concentrated on doing better and better marketing. And yes, there's that old joke, who does more business, the one better marketing and the one that, is actually good at it. That's a silly way to looking at it, because what they're missing is that in the media, the person in the media must really be an expert at it. Right.
Right. Uh-huh.
And The other part is take a playwriting class, take an improv comedy class, take a acting class, take a dance class, take a singing class. So I'm a classically trained opera singer.
Oh,
So I have
amazing.
total control over my voice at every moment. I'm articulating every single syllable that I say.
Hmm.
You did not hear me say, basically, and right.
Right,
I'm
right,
I'm nailing it because I'm in this hyper state of this is on camera work now. So I'm
right,
another Darrell Stern, right? I just hop
right.
into this Darrell Stern that
Hmm.
is on camera and my brain's tingling and firing really fast and I'm nailing this and getting every little syllable out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, text that or get on sternmarketing.agency. You'll see funnels coming out. I've got different stuff and ads coming out all over the place. But if you are really understand that there are people that need you and you're ready to serve them, and if I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 15.
Yeah.
Like I'm a 15. I want to do this. This is my life's goal. I've got that ambition disease. And you know
Yeah.
what that's like, right? We can't let go of this, right? You can't
Right.
let go of this podcast. You can't do anything else. It's just an it's just an addiction,
Yep.
right?
It's a got to do it.
Exactly. So those are the kind of people that I love to work with. People that are
Yeah.
actually have done it. They already have the talent. They just need someone to distribute that talent to the world.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because your results, your clients' results speak for themselves. And so, I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us today, for sharing your expertise. I'm sure our listeners are going to benefit from the gems that you dropped today. But yeah, of course, they can reach out to you through the methods you mentioned, and obviously read the Business Leader article we'll have in the magazine about you, which will also link to your websites and resources. God bless you. It's been such an honor. You are awesome. You're funny. You're
It's
smart. You're
awesome.
just so cool. And you definitely do remind me of Matt Damon.
You're a Hollywood movie star yourself, and we should have another meeting, and I'll show you more deeply into this so that then we can make your magazine grow and go storming on it and create all different kind of stuff.
Oh, you're so cool. Well, absolutely. I will send you an email and
I'm
we
going
can
to
talk
record
about
that.
it.
Jacqueline Maddison said Darrell Stern is cool. Yeah, I really don't care your opinion because Jacqueline Maddison says I'm cool. So it doesn't matter what you think anymore. Jack, look her up, dude. She's the one of the top people in the world. Shut up.
You are awesome. I love you so much. It's been so
I love
cool to
you
get to
too.
know you.
Let's get together. I love
Yeah,
it.
let's connect and definitely, make some marketing magic happen, Daryl.
Exactly.
Have a blessed day. Mwah. Lots of love.
Mwah.
We'll talk again soon.
Bye.
Bye.